Welcome to Take It from the Ironwoman. My name is Susanne Mueller, your host and the Ironwoman. This podcast is about empowering yourself and others to make real changes in the world. You will hear from everyday, smart, sophisticated, hip people like you and me. Not everybody has to be an Ironwoman to impress the world. Together, we will learn from the sports and business leaders how you can become a more successful person as an entrepreneur or a leader. It's one step at a time, one day at a time. Take your steps now. Take your big steps now. Join me on this journey to success. Take it from the Ironwoman. We have spoken to Marisa before. She has an interesting story. She was walking from Tijuana down the peninsula to La Paz in Baja California. Check on the map where it is. It's about 1,400 kilometers. She was walking between 25 and 28 kilometers each day. I'm a marathon runner. I know how 28 kilometers, which is kind of a half marathon, how that feels. But if you walk 2 months every single day, it's a different story. Thank you, Marisa, for taking us on this walk with you. The journey is more important than the destination. Let's say you have 1,400 kilometers. As of when were you a celebrity?
First of all, I thought I would get followership in Germany. And I was a little bit afraid of making it big in Mexico because what would they think who would I criticize, blah, blah, blah. But in Germany, when I went live on Facebook, it was always the same 5 friends that supported me, and it wasn't growing. And people weren't accepting it. They were just like, I don't know what it's good for. And I said, I don't either, but first we need attention. And there was not a lot of support. And then in the middle of this peninsula, there's Guerrero Negro. We had problems with the car, and my driver had family there. So we stayed there. We actually changed the car with the car of the mechanic because our car was a little bit more worthy normally, but would need more repair. And he said, I can make the repairs, but it would cost me something. You get my car that is in a better shape, but with less value, you probably will reach your goal, La Paz, better with that car. In that time, I made a carton where I wrote down walk against sexual abuse in Spanish, of course. And then I left that behind my backpack. I had in the backpack, I always had some snacks and the water I would use for that part of the way, and toilet paper, the most important things. And first day I walked, I made that because many people wanted to give me a ride. So I always had to explain, no, I want to walk. I'm really that crazy. This is really what I'm looking for. And then there was a car. They actually talked to me. Where you're from? Why are you doing that? Blah, blah, blah. But they didn't told me what they were doing with that. And they, or one of those people, were an admin of a big local group in Facebook in that area. He had taken videos from me from behind, so I didn't realize all that. They took the information I gave them, and then they made a blog post in that group. And it was incredible. We were in Vizcaíno 4 or 5 days after leaving Guerrero Negro. There was a post. He wasn't a friend of mine, so he couldn't tag me. But then a friend of mine saw that. I don't know how many people live on that half island we are talking about. I think they were originally all from 10 families. Obviously, they are coming also people from the mainland, but many people have like cousins, uncles in other cities. It's really good connected. Then someone tagged me, and this post was in 1 hour. It was with 1,500 likes. I couldn't read the comments because they were coming in so quickly that when I started to read, there was already a next one. And this was the day where everything changed for me. The first month, the first half of the island, I was totally with myself practically all day when I walked. And we just had the car and ourselves. And then everything changed. Sometimes I love people and it was such an honor. But sometimes I stayed in the bathroom for 5 minutes longer just to have 5 minutes for myself because it was such an extreme change from being with God or the universe alone all day with all those thoughts in my head and then having their people every time. I was grateful, but it always was almost too intense.
On one hand, first I need people around me. And then when you have people on you, oh, please go away.
Sometimes I reached a village and 10 families were inviting me to eat in their house. Because of all those connections, they always knew where I am. They talk to each other. They say, oh, I saw Marisa on kilometer 100. She will reach the town in 2 hours or something like that. And then everybody was waiting there, and I had to say no to 9 families because I just could eat once. I had to go on. I couldn't stay everywhere that long because, well, I had to go on and start to earn money again. It was amazing. I was really super grateful, but it was also tough decisions to make. But yes, what's interesting and the most beautiful part were all the hugs you received that were full of hope, like also full of pain, unfortunately, but they had that pain already before. At least now they had a little bit of like not being alone, having someone who would speak up for them. And I never criticized any government because for me it's a social problem. We need to respect each other. We need to protect each other and to believe each other when somebody says, I was victim or I am a victim now, please help me. And so it was never a message for Mexico. It was always a global message. And so there I had no issues.
And when you arrived in La Paz, in Baja California Sur?
Incredible. They received me with many official people, the presidenta of the institute of this part of the Municipio de La Paz, Institute of Women. But it was a little bit like almost stiff a little whilst when I came to Ciudad Constitución, which is also in Baja California Sur already. There were 60 people walking with me from the main city to the next village. They were all almost a cow breaking out of their fence because they felt the energy, it seems, and they wanted to follow us. It was so interesting. We had a lot of street dogs that were following us from the vibe attracted. And then in that small village, I don't want to walk anymore. I did my limits for today. It's dark already. I can't anymore. And they said, no, they are waiting for you. I was really a little bit pissed because my feet really hurted. And I said, I never promised that I would reach that village today. And who could wait for me there? There are living 10 people and 200 cows. Please, I will arrive there tomorrow. It doesn't matter. But then there were all those people waiting for me that couldn't walk with us. I didn't knew them, obviously. And then 200 people or more were singing the Mexican national hymn for me. And I was crying all the time because it was so beautiful. They had an emergency unit taking care of us from like behind. So we could go on walking even though it was dark already. But my body was done for that day. I really suffered. And then I had really, it was I think Ciudad Constitucion is like 200 kilometers away from La Paz, or not that far anymore compared to all what I did. But for me, it was, my body was, now it's over.
It's too much.
And I didn't recover from that day. The next day, we really had to make a break. We also had issues with the car again. And I was grateful to have that forced break because my feet would just hurt. We danced a lot because many people were from the Zumba team there. And they put a pickup in front of us with Zumba music. And I love dancing salsa and all that. But my body wouldn't recover anymore. This after this was really hurtful.
You think do 25 to 28 kilometer every single day and it's working. And then when you go overboard, your body is like, no, no, no. You basically pay the price. It's really good to follow the plan, not deviate.
Completely. And maybe to even slow down sometimes if you feel you need to, but to keep walking. It's not important how fast you go. It's more important that you have enough energy for that next step. This was really interesting, and it seemed to be a really easy life for me in that time because I woke up in the morning and there was so much clarity in which direction I had to go and what was life expecting from me. So this is also something, the clearer you have your goals, the easier life usually becomes because all your decisions need to be made to bring you into that position. And this was really interesting. I never felt, sometimes in life I felt a little bit lost and overwhelmed. This was something in that walk that it was, even though it was something challenging, this part was really easy because I just knew I have to put on my clothes, my shoes, and then just walk.
When you think about that, they say that journey is more important than destination. You get up every day, you walk, you kind of negotiate with your partner what to eat. And looking back now, when was that? How much time has gone by?
It was 3 years ago. Just from June 2019, we had to do a 2-week break in San Quintin because we didn't have money to go on or enough money to go on. So we volunteered at the dog shelter. They let us sleep and use water there and stuff. We could up the sum we needed for, because after this village, there was like 200 kilometers with nothing. You had to fill up the tank completely. You had to buy enough water, enough food. And so it was 2 month walking, and I arrived the 10th of September. Just 3 years ago, so every day now I see memories on Facebook. Every year I kind of relive that walk, and I'm still in people's memories. This is kind of interesting because I feel sometimes like it's gone so long, but people still following me just for that.
What will you take away from this? We know Jonas Deichmann, the German, who also he ran through Mexico. You walked through Mexico, to part of Mexico. What is your vision, or what will you do with this experience? And what can the world learn from you?
I want to tell people that it's not only, we shouldn't just survive when we suffered from any kind of abuse. Yes, I always focus on sexual abuse because this is what I experienced and what I can really talk from my own experience on. I always try to break down topics that it could be useful for everyone who wants to grow or overcome something. We all have our package we are dealing with, that we just shouldn't stop to just try to survive, but that we really deserve to thrive in our life. It's not about surviving. It's about surviving in the moment you are in the situation. But when you're out, it's about healing and about trying to start to dream again. I realized on my journey of personal development that you really can create your life more than I thought before diving into that topic. So for example, in school, I thought I was not good for languages because it was just grammar rules and I'm not good at it. But I speak 3 languages fluently and I could practically communicate with all over the world because English and Spanish are the most spoken languages in the world. My universe is totally different than the universe I saw it when I was in school. I thought the opportunities were so limited. If you see my curriculum, my CV, you would say everybody would throw it away. There are so many empty spaces where I was volunteering, walking through Mexico. But nobody can take me all these experiences. This is not what life is all about. Someone feels good in that corporate world, but if you have those empty spaces, you don't have to think that life is over for you, that there are no opportunities. The most interesting lives for me often are people that don't have all of that. Imagine Jonas tomorrow applying for a job in an office.
Companies need to think differently if they see a resume of yours. And you also need to fill in life experience, and you need to maybe say planning, organizing, fixing, cooking, all what you have done, because then people are, oh, she's an entrepreneur. You're an entrepreneur. You did volunteer. You raised money. You have to use the corporate words in order to describe your journey.
It was Arno Krug, German author. He wrote that security is the end of all life. If we really want to be super secure of everything, first you have to realize nothing is safe. And I think many people that live a lifestyle we do, they are more flexible if there comes a change, because we just are going with the water. And from people that are used to a lifestyle, my dad, it looks a lot of insecurities or issues, but that at the end of the day, we can change quicker to new conditions in life, as you had to do that in those challenges, in those situations. In the walk, we didn't have the battery for the car, or it rained, although it was almost always super hot. Sometimes I didn't want to pee because there were so many dead snakes on the road that I didn't want to imagine how many snakes would be in that plants where I could hide myself. There are so much opportunities to grow that sound silly or funny, but they sum up, and it's really challenging a lot of time.
Who knows what can be next? Thank you for all your insights and providing hope for others.
Thank you for inviting me.
Wow. Thank you so much for guiding us through your walk from Tijuana to La Paz. We wish you good luck, many more adventures. Take it from the Ironwoman. We have episodes every Monday with interesting people where you can learn and grow. Follow us on all social media platforms and chime in for the next episode. And Take It From the Ironwoman is also the book. Take It From the Ironwoman, Global Business Coaching with Sports Parallels. Download the book, read the book, write a review. Very happy and grateful if you do that for me. Thank you so much. See you next time. Bye-bye.